evening. Hi. I'm John Malashock. I want to thank you for being here tonight. We're very glad to be back here at the Globe. I'm particularly excited about sharing my newest work with you, Together in the Fires of Delight. For me, personal relationships are really the foundation of creation and growth. I've found personal relationships to be the cornerstone of my work and my life. And I wanted to celebrate the amazing variety of ways that people relate to each other and to themselves. To deepen this experience, I decided to move beyond dance and include actors in the work so we could express these relationships in words as well as the emotional language of music and dance.
So I said to my girl, "Damn, I'm getting tired of pushing cars with no gas."
Right, she said. Now you know how I feel about you.
And there we were, in the most casual parting since oil left water.
Our parents, our children, our spouses, lovers, friends. To be in these relationships is to see ourselves in a mirror.
Maybe he believes me, maybe not. Maybe I can marry him, maybe not. Maybe the wind on the prairie, the wind on the sea, maybe. Somebody, somewhere, maybe can tell. I will lay my head on his shoulder, and when he asks me, I will say yes. Maybe.
Tonight we're going to venture into the heart of human relationships. I invite you to walk together with us in the fires of delight. Enjoy the show.
Yesterday, I discovered my wife often climbs our stairs on all fours. In my lonely beastliness, I thought I was alone, the only four-legged climber, the forger of paths through thickets to Kilimanjaro's summit. In celebration then, side by side, we climbed our stairs on all our fours. After a few steps, our self-consciousness slid from us, and I growled low in my throat and bit with blunt teeth my mate's shoulder, and she laughed low in her throat and rubbed her haunches on mine. At the top of the stairs, we rose on our human feet. It was fine and fitting somehow. It was Adam and Eve before the fall, or after. It was survivors on a raft, mad-eyed with joy, rising to the hum of a distant rescue. I live for such moments.
my parents, have you ever thought of going to Norway? You are Andersons and deserve to know Norway, where we all begun. Do you not wonder how things are in Norway? And my parents said, yes, we shall go to Norway. We are Andersons and want to see where our people begun. We're growing old. We must go now. Yet they stayed on the dock, staring at the water, as ship after ship sailed toward the north, toward Norway. So I said to my parents, now, you must leave now. These are the boats that are leaving for Norway. It is not long or far. Then my parents said, yes, we want to see Norway. We are Andersons, but it is so far. And they stayed where they were, watching the boats leaving for Norway and trying to picture it, even testing a few words of that dear language on their tongues, but standing still, never moving, never climbing aboard, though I kept pleading, please, now, you must leave now if you want to see Norway. Norway, they murmured. Norway, ah, where is that? And they stood very still. Grayness crept through their hair. It frightened me to see them growing so old, for I had not thought such a thing possible. At last I said, I must go to Norway. I am an Anderson and want to see where all of us begun. I must go now. They stood on the dock, waving out at the water, as I waved back over the water, which darkened between us with distance and tears. I nuzzled up against her warm body, felt her breath on my neck, and wondered when I'd ever been this content before. Was it the way she loved me? Her desire to please me? The fact that she always needed to be by my side and would seek me out, searching from room to room till she found me, so pleased with her discovery, like the first time she quivered in my arms. How loved I felt, how wanted. Each time I sent her away, she would creep back behind me and wait for that moment when I was too self-absorbed to notice that she was quietly sniffing the back of my neck, so hungry for my love. She loved the way I looked, my smell, the fact that I spoke to her in French. She craved my fingers rubbing her stomach. I knew how to scratch behind her ears, so she would sigh a long, contented sigh. There was nothing she loved more, except her milk bones. How she loved me, and how she hated to hear me cry. Only she knew how to pull me back and make me laugh. We'd cuddle, then kiss, me stumbling into her eyes. She knew she had me, my furry beast of desire.
Last night, I lost the best friend I ever had. Last night, I lost the best friend that I ever had. Well, she gone and left me, made me feel so bad. I've gotta wait till tomorrow. They tell me every day rain by the change. Wait until tomorrow. They tell me every day rain by the change. You know the way that I love you. Don't you know that's a one shame? Early in the morning, and my blues coming down for you. Early in the morning, my love and blues is coming down for you. I want you to tell me, little girl, what in the world we gonna do? Think it's gonna sound like Chicago right now.
Want a cigarette?
No, thank you, but thank you ever so much, just the same.
Sorry, I've only got these kind. Have you got any of your own?
I really don't know. I probably have. Thank you.
Because if you haven't, it wouldn't take me a minute to go up to the corner and get you some.
Oh, thank you, but I wouldn't dream of having you go to all that trouble for anything, but it's awfully sweet of you to think of it. Thank you ever so much.
Will you, for God's sake, stop thanking me?
Oh, well, I'm terribly sorry if I hurt your feelings. I know what it feels like to have your feelings hurt. I didn't realize it was an insult to say thank you to a person. I'm not usually in the habit of having people swear at me because I say thank you to them.
I didn't swear at you.
Oh, you didn't? I see.
My God, all I said was, I simply asked you if I couldn't go out and get you some cigarettes. Is there anything in that to get up in the air about?
Who's up in the air? I'm sure I didn't realize it was a criminal offense to say I wouldn't dream of giving you all that trouble. I'm afraid I must be awfully stupid or something.
Do you want me to go out and get you some cigarettes, or don't you?
Goodness, if you really want to go, please don't feel you have to stay here.
Oh, and don't be that way, will you?
Be what way? I'm not being any way.
What's the matter?
Why, nothing. Why?
You've been funny all evening. Hardly said a word to me ever since I came in.
Oh, well, I'm terribly sorry you haven't been having a good time. For goodness sake, please don't feel you have to stay here and be bored. I'm sure there are millions of places you could be having much more fun. I'd much rather you go and have a good time. It isn't very pleasant to sit here and feel that you're boring a person to death.
I'm not bored. I don't want to go anyplace. Oh, honey, won't you please tell me what the matter is, please?
I haven't the faintest idea what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Is it anything I've done or anything?
Oh, goodness, I'm sure it isn't any of my business, anything you do. I wouldn't feel I have any right to criticize.
And will you stop talking like that, will you please?
Talking like what?
The way you were talking over the telephone today. You were so snotty when I called up, I was afraid to talk to you.
I beg your pardon. What did you say I was?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. You get me so balled up.
I have never had a thing like that said to me before.
I said that I was sorry. Will you excuse me, please?
Oh, certainly. Please don't feel you have to apologize to me. It makes absolutely no difference.
I guess nothing I say makes any difference to you. You seem to be so sore at me.
I'm sore at you? I can't understand what put that idea in your head. Why should I be sore at you?
That's what I'm asking you. Is it anything I've done or anything? Have I done something to hurt your feelings? The way you were over the telephone, you had me worried all day. I couldn't do a lick of work.
Well, I wouldn't like to interfere with your work. It isn't very nice to sit here and have someone say that you interfere with their business.
I didn't say that. I didn't say it.
Oh, didn't you? Well, that was the impression I got. Must be my stupidity.
I guess maybe I better go. I can't get right. Everything I say seems to make you sorer and sorer. Would you rather I just go?
Please just do exactly whatever you like. Why don't you go somewhere where you won't be bored? Why don't you go to Florence Lemming's? I know she'd love to have you.
Florence Lemming's? Why would I want to go to Florence Lemming's? She gives me a pain.
Oh, really? Well, she didn't seem to be giving you so much of a pain at Elsie's party last night. I noticed. I noticed you couldn't even talk to anybody else. That's how much of a pain she was giving you.
Yeah, and you know why I was talking to her?
I suppose you think she's attractive. Some people do. It's perfectly natural. Some people think she's quite pretty.
I don't know whether she's pretty or not. I wouldn't know her if I saw her again. The reason why I was talking to her was because you wouldn't give me a tumble last night. I came up and tried to talk to you, and you just said, "Oh, how do you do?" Just like that. "Oh, how do you do?" And you turned right away and wouldn't even look at me.
I wouldn't look at you. Oh, that's awfully funny. Oh, that's marvelous. You don't mind if I laugh, do you?
Go ahead and laugh your head off, but you wouldn't.
The moment you came into the room, you were making such a fuss over Florence Lemming, I didn't think you wanted to see anybody else.
My God, this what's-her-name girl comes up to me and begins talking to me before I even saw anybody else. I mean, what could I do? I couldn't sock her in the nose, could I?
Certainly didn't see you try.
You saw me try to talk to you, didn't you? And what did you do? Oh, how do you do? And this what's-her-name girl comes up to me, and there I am stuck. Florence Lemming, I think she's terrible. You know what I think about her? I think she's a damn little fool. That's what I think about her.
Well, that's always the impression she gave me, but I don't know. I've heard people say she's pretty. Honestly, I have.
Well, she can't be pretty in the same room with you.
She's got an awfully funny nose.
Oh,
I feel sorry for a girl with a
terrible
nose like
nose,
that.
and you've got a beautiful nose. Gee, you've got a pretty nose.
Oh, I do not. You're crazy.
And beautiful hair, and beautiful eyes, and a beautiful mouth, and beautiful hands. Oh, look at these little hands. Who's got the prettiest hands in the world? Who's the sweetest girl in the world?
I don't know who.
Oh, you don't know? You do too, so no.
I do not. Who?
Florence Lemming? Yes. Girl like you getting sore about a girl like Florence Lemming. And me not getting any sleep last night, not doing any work because you wouldn't speak to me. A girl like you getting sore about a girl like Florence Lemming.
Oh, I think you're perfectly crazy. I was not sore. What on earth made you think I was? You're simply crazy. Ow, ow, ow. My new pearl beads. Wait a minute till I take them off. There.
I know that she is hypersensitive about her athletic stature, her pretty smile, her general wholesomeness, which everyone except her considers attractive. So I never miss a chance to allude to farmers' daughters, good breeders, sturdiness, and Germanic stock. And since I know that she is insanely jealous, I wouldn't think of letting an evening go by without mentioning some beautiful and temporarily available woman that I have run into earlier in the day. And because I know that she is needlessly self-conscious about her weight, I wouldn't think of letting a day go by without suggesting that I run out for a Matterhorn pizza, lest she collapses in the hour of malnutrition. If she were a Puritan, I'd ridicule her for that. But since I know she loves sex and has few inhibitions, I do my best to make her feel like a nymphomaniac. These are the ways in which I keep her anxious, humble, and dependent. These are the ways in which I punish her. And what was her offense? That she restored my confidence when I was nearly broken on the rack.
You have to help me, he said. You have to take care of me. Sometimes, he said, I need mothering. I need you to tell me you love me. I need to hear you say it. I need you to sleep with me. I need you to me. I need you to be on top when we... What time is it? I'm hungry. I haven't had time to go to the grocer. I need comforting. I need a ride to the corner. Let's have coffee together for once. He said, you make coffee. He said, I don't like these raw vegetables. I don't like this smelly cheese. It smells like pussy, he said. You don't take care of me, he said. I have needs, he said. I have certain needs, and you don't do mommy very well, he said. You don't do mommy at all, he said.
She said, how come you never pay any attention to me?
He said, can't this wait? Heckle and Jekyll is almost over.
She said, decide right now, which is more important?
He said, Heckle is more important, but Jekyll is very important too. There was once a llama, older and wiser than the rest, who lived in the mountains of Tibet. He loved to smell all the smells and taste all the tastes. And he loved little children. There were hundreds of them, and the llama, choking on time, tried to see them all each day. Of course he could not. He was too old, and there were too many. But that did not stop him from trying. Every evening before the sun went down, the llama would walk the worn paths, looking for all of the lost children who stood like little sentries on the mountain. It was a mountain of orphans, of the lost or the wounded. There was one little girl at the very top who always waited the longest, who was always last, who thought he would come even when he did not. She believed in him, like the sun believes in the moon, like the stars believe in the night. When he came, she was delighted. When he did not, she spilled thousands of her tears down the mountain. She spilled so many tears, night after night, longing for her friend, that millions of flowers grew, and it was a beautiful mountain, lush and green and lovely. Everyone else enjoyed it, except the little girl whose job it was to keep it green. She could not see the beauty of the mountain through her mist of tears. And she could not feel the llama in her heart because his furry snout was too far from her eyes. You see, she was a blind little girl with intense eyes that screamed, "Why? Why don't you love me, llama, when I love you more than the rest? And why is your furry snout the only one I long for when it is the only one I cannot have? And why, Mr. Llama, do you forget me night after night when the other children are held and loved? Is it that I long too hard? Is it that I love too much?" But the llama was too far away to answer her, so she lay down and cried. The beautiful green grass touched her sad, sad tears, and the little girl finally realized that the llama had been with her all along. His furry snout was the green grass which comforted and delighted her, his beautiful eyes the flowers which grew on her mountain. From that time on, she cried, not from misery, but from the melting of her heart, from the incredible joy of knowing that she was holding hands with God as she helped to make the world more beautiful. And she could finally feel the llama in her heart and God in her hands, and she was happy.
Sometimes being in the presence of my father and my son is like standing between two mirrors that are facing each other. I can see myself from different sides, but I also see two tunnels to infinity, one stretching through my past and the other into my future. In one mirror is my father, a man of many virtues and faults. When I look in that mirror, I never know from one day to the next which I'll see, his virtues or my faults. In the other mirror is my son, 18. I'm already amazed at how much I don't know about him. I feel a mixed sensation of pride and helplessness as I watch him struggle with traits that are all too familiar. I remember occasional tearful moments when my father would try and tell me how much affection he had for me. They seemed like brief, stolen moments in strange places, as if he was saying, I don't know who you are, but I love you in some way that even I can't understand. I think I let him know the feeling was mutual, and it still is. Sometimes late at night, my son will walk into my office, tell me he's going to bed, and nod his head in that way that says, come tuck me in. There's nothing sweeter than sending him off to sleep, knowing that he likes me to be there with him. I have to hide my tears. I'm not willing. I want to feel excited about his flight out into the world, but I'm not ready, either because he isn't or because I don't want to become a peripheral part of his life yet. I'm not willing to open my fingers and let this bird take wing. I'm afraid the bird might just sit there, content to enjoy the hands that so clearly enjoy him. When I started working on this project about relationships, I found myself flooded with memories, particularly memories of my childhood. The thing that brought these memories to life the most was music, or the songs that we used to sing as kids on car trips or at home. Strange little songs that I've never heard anywhere else we'd sing in the car. And so I called my dad up, and I asked him to help me remember some of these songs. And since he's here tonight, I thought I'd ask him to come out here and help me share some of these songs with you. So I want to introduce my dad, Malashock.
What a welcome.
Yeah, you don't get that every day.
Rarely.
Thanks for coming out here.
Oh, you're welcome.
I wanted to see if we could remember some of these strange little songs that we used to sing.
We can try. I remember the one that was your favorite when you were growing up. You would sit next to me and we would sing that silly song about your father.
Oh, right. Go on home. That's a good one. Let's sing that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Go on home, your mother is calling, your father is caught in the washing machine. Go on home, your mother is calling, they can't get the laundry out clean. Go on home, your mother is calling, your father is caught in the garbage can. Go on home, your mother is calling, they've come to collect your old man. That was good. I like that song.
That's our famous family song.
Yes. I remember one that was a real favorite of mine and my brother's, because we used to accidentally get to say a dirty word in this one.
Oh,
you remember this
You
one?
and your brothers had this bathroom humor.
Well, we still do.
Okay,
let's teach this one to them.
All right.
All right?
We'll do it.
Okay. Sally, Sally, sitting in a shoe shine shop. All day long she sits and shines, all day long she shines and sits. Sally, Sally, sitting in the shoe shine shop. I did it already. All right, let's catch them.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay. Sally, Sally, sitting in the shoe shine shop. All day long she sits and shines, all day long she shines and sits.
Sally, Sally, sitting in the shoe shine shop.
A little faster.
Sally, Sally, sitting in the shoe shine shop. All day long she sits and shines, all day long she shines and shits. Sally, Sally, sitting in the shoe shine shop.
Faster.
Sally, Sally, sitting in the shoe shine shop. All day long she sits and shines, all day long she shines and sits. Sally, Sally, sitting in the shoe shine shop.
That was good.
Well, we finished it. John, you mentioned something about family songs and car trips and so forth. There was that rather racy little song that you guys used to try to stump me on.
Yes, we'd make up verses to that for hours and hours.
Right, but I don't think we better do that tonight.
I think we could do
But
it.
maybe, well, maybe 2, 3 verses.
All right.
Okay? Okay, I'll start. Oh, I used to work in Chicago in a department store. I used to work in Chicago. I did, but I don't anymore. A lady came in for
Some snacks.
and I asked her what kind at the door. Cracker, she said, so cracker I did. I did, but I don't anymore.
I used to work in Chicago in a department store. I used to work in Chicago, I did, but I don't anymore.
Now a lady came in for some
Hardware.
and I asked her what kind at the door. Some screws, she said, so screw her I did. I did, but I don't anymore.
I used to work in Chicago in a department store. I used to work in Chicago, I did, but I don't anymore.
Now a lady came in for some
Beverages.
I asked her what kind at the door. Liquor, she said, so liquor I did. I did, but I don't anymore. That's terrible, John.
Well,
Go ahead.
that was a, that song used to get pretty dirty, but it wasn't the dirtiest song you used to sing to us. There was another one that was a real favorite of ours.
John.
You're not going to chicken out on me now.
Oh, everybody's going to think I'm just a dirty old man.
Well, if the shoe fits.
All right, it's your show, and
All right.
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Okay, story time. Come, all you children, and listen to me. I'll tell you a story which will fill you with glee about a young maiden so fair and so tall. She married a man who had no balls at all.
No balls at all, no balls at all. She married a man who had no balls at all.
Now the night they were married and jumped into bed, this was the moment for which they were wed. She reached for his penis was small. She reached for his balls, he had no balls at all.
No balls at all, no balls at all. She married a man who had no balls at all.
Oh mother, I wish I were dead and asleep in my grave with my dear maiden head. My sorrows are many, my pleasures are small. I married a man who had no balls at all.
No balls at all, no balls at all. She married a man who had no balls at all.
Oh daughter, now don't you feel bad? I had the same trouble with your dear old dad. There's many young men who will answer the call of the wife of the man who had no balls at all.
No balls at all, no balls at all. She married a man who had no balls at all.
Daughter took mother's splendid advice, found the proceedings exceedingly nice, and a bouncing young baby was born in the fall to the wife of the man who had no balls at all.
No balls at all, no balls at all. She married a man who had no balls at all. No balls at all, no balls at all. She married a man who had no balls at all.
Everybody!
No balls at all, no balls at all. She married a man who had no balls at all.
Thanks, I love you.
Thanks. Have a good intermission.
Sally, Sally, sitting in a shoe shine shop. All day long she sits and shines. All day long she shines and sits. She shines and Sally, Sally. in a shoe shine shop.
The two boys embracing in the thunderstorm don't care if they get drenched. Don't care if as they strip each other and drop their clothes in lightning light into the puddles and kick them laughingly into the mud. It's the first time they've kissed each other. They had no idea how passionate passion could be. They can hardly believe it, that merely putting their lips together could be so... For a moment they stand apart, silently gazing at each other in the flashes and thunder. Centuries of boyhood, eons of boy love, proud in their playful smiles, knowing just what they're going to do, even though they've never done it before. Crying with pleasure while the thunder thunders and the sky ejaculates millions of raindrops as you squirm in rapture on the muddy grass under the tossing trees.
Your help is urgently needed. If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of the following individual, contact us immediately. Subject is or was about 45 at the time of disappearance. Last seen dissolving slowly. First the back of his neck, then his shoulders went away. His legs left too. In the end, his face vanished without warning, the mouth open, still speaking. We have no indication why this person of all people should have disappeared. Reliable witnesses have stated that not even his eyes endured, not even the tips of his fingerprints. You will know him by certain signs. by the innocent look of his hair falling over his forehead in moments of emotional upheaval, by his hands which are fine and arrive like delicate instruments of mercy. You will also know him by his eyes, which have an unblinking quality like those of a horse or some other friendly, domesticated animal. You will know him if you are prepared. There is no history of mental disease, no police file. Disappearance was, for all practical purposes, voluntary. Subject's last formal statement for the record was, "I love you," or something like that. She'd always fantasized about a woman in a black slip. Something to do with Elizabeth Taylor and Butterfield 8. She came to my house with a huge box gift-wrapped with gigantic ribbons. Inside, a black slip, slinky with lace across the bodice. She told me how she was embarrassed in the department store, a woman in men's pants, buying a black slip clearly not intended for herself, and about the gay men in the line behind her sharing the joke. She asked me to try it on. I took it into the bathroom, slipped it over my head. I stared at myself for a long time before I came out of the bathroom, walked over to her lying on the bed. That was the first time. It got easier. The black slip was followed by a blue slip, then a red one, then a long lavender negligee, the back slit to there. I wore them to bed. In the morning, she would smile and say how much she loved waking up next to a woman in a slip. The black slip was always our favorite. We always made love when I wore the black slip. It was always the first thing we packed when we went on vacation. And she always used to make me promise that if we ever broke up, I would never wear that slip for anyone else. I don't know where it is now. Stripped of that private skin when we broke up, I never went back to claim it. I think she must have packed it, given it, thrown it away. On bad days, I picture us sliding it over the head of some new love, whispering about Elizabeth Taylor and waking up to a woman in a slip. Or perhaps it's still there, draped on the back of the door, a sinuous shadow, a moan in the dark. Torcello tomorrow, isn't it?
What?
We're going to Torcello tomorrow, aren't we?
Yes, that's right.
That'll be lovely. I can't wait.
Book good?
Yes.
What is it?
This new book, This Man Spinks.
Oh, yes. Jerry was telling me about it.
Jerry, was he?
Yes, he was telling me about it at lunch last week.
Do you like it?
Oh, Spinks is his boy. He discovered him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Unsolicited manuscript. You think it's good, do you?
Yes, I do. I'm enjoying it.
Well, maybe you should have lunch with Jerry and me and chat about it.
Well, is that absolutely necessary? I mean, it isn't as good as all that.
You mean it's not good enough for you to have lunch with Jerry and me and chat about it?
What the hell are you talking about?
Maybe I should read it again myself now it's in hardcovers.
Again?
Yes, Jerry wanted us to publish it.
Really?
Well, naturally. Anyway, I turned it down.
Why?
Oh, not much more to say on that subject, now is there really?
Well, what do you consider the subject to be?
Betrayal.
No, it isn't.
Isn't it? What is it then?
Well, I haven't finished it yet. I'll let you know.
Well, do let me know. Of course, I could be thinking about the wrong book. By the way, I went to the American Express yesterday.
Oh?
Yes, there was a letter there for you. They asked me if I was any relation, and I said yes. And they asked me if I wanted to take it, but I said no, that I would leave it. Did you get it?
Yes,
I suppose you popped in yesterday evening when you were out shopping.
that's right.
Well, good. I'm glad you got it. To be honest, I was rather amazed that they suggested that I take it. I mean, this could never happen in England. But these Italians, so free and easy. Just because my name is Downs and your name is Downs doesn't mean that we are the Mr. and Mrs. Downs that they in their laughing Mediterranean way assume that we are. I mean, we could be, and in fact are vastly more likely to be total strangers. So let's say that I, whom they laughingly assumed to be your husband, had taken the letter, having declared myself your husband, but in fact being a total stranger, opened it and read it, out of nothing more than idle curiosity, and then thrown in the canal. You would never have received it, and would therefore have been deprived of your legal right of opening your own mail. And all of this because of some Venetian gemin fautisme. I have a good mind to write the Doge of Venice about it. That's what stopped me taking it, by the way, and bringing it to you. The fact that we could be total strangers. What they did not know, and of course had no way of knowing, was that I am your husband.
Pretty inefficient bunch.
Only in a laughing Mediterranean way.
It was from Jerry.
Yes, I recognize the handwriting. How is he?
Okay,
Good. And Judith?
fine.
And the kids?
I don't think he mentioned them.
No, I'm sure they're all right. He probably would have mentioned them if they'd been ill or something. Any other news?
No.
Are you looking forward to Torcello? I've been trying to remember how many times we've been there. Twice. I remember the first time I took you there. You fell in love with it. That was, what, 10 years ago? About 6 months after we were married? I wonder if you'll like it as much tomorrow. What do you think of Jerry as a letter writer? You're trembling. Are you cold?
No.
He used to write me at one time. Long letters about Ford Maddox Ford. I used to write him, too. Long letters about W.B. Yeats, I suppose. That was back when we were both editors of poetry magazines, him at Cambridge and me at Oxford. Oh, we were both bright young men and close friends. Oh, we still are close friends. That was long before I met you. Long before he met you, too. I've been trying to remember when it was that I introduced him to you. I take it I did introduce him to you. Yes, but when? I simply can't remember. Can you?
No.
You can't?
No.
How odd. He wasn't best man at our wedding, was he?
Well, you know he was.
That's probably when it was I introduced him to you. Was there any message for me in his letter? I mean, in the line of business, having to do with the world of publishing. Has he discovered any new and original talent? He's quite talented, you know, at uncovering talent. Old Jerry.
No message.
No message. Not even his love.
We're lovers.
Ah, I see. Yes, I thought it was something like that. Something along those lines.
When?
What?
When did you think?
Yesterday. Only yesterday. Before yesterday, I was quite ignorant.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Where does it take place? I mean, it must be a bit awkward. We've got 2 kids, and he's got 2 kids, not to mention a wife.
We have a flat.
I see. Nice. A flat. It must be rather well established, then, your affair.
Yes?
How long?
Sometime.
Yes, but exactly how long?
5 years.
5 years. Ned is 1 year old. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, he's your son. Jerry was in America for 2 months.
Did he write you from America?
Yes, and I wrote to him.
Did you tell him that Ned had been conceived?
Not by letter.
But when you did tell him, he was happy to know that I was to be a father. I've always rather liked Jerry. To be honest, I've always rather liked him more than I've liked you. Maybe I should have an affair with him myself. Tell me, are you looking forward to our trip to Torcello?
And where is my gypsy wife tonight? I've heard all the wild reports, they can't be right. But whose head is this she's dancing with on the threshing floor? Whose darkness deepens in her arms a little more? And where is my gypsy wife tonight? Where is my gypsy wife tonight? Ah, the silver knives are flashing in the tired old cafe. A ghost climbs on the table in a bridal negligee. She says my body is the light, my body is the way. I raise my arm against it all and I catch the bride's bouquet. And where is my gypsy wife tonight? Where is my gypsy wife tonight? Too early for the rainbow, too early for the dove. These are the final days. This is the darkness, this is the flood. And there is no man or woman can be touched. But you who come between be judged. And where is my gypsy wife tonight? Where is my gypsy wife tonight?
The wind comes from opposite poles, traveling slowly.
She turns in the deep air.
He walks in the clouds,
She readies herself, shakes her hair.
makes up her eyes, smiles.
The sun warms her teeth. The tip of her tongue moistens them.
He brushes the dust from his suit, straightens his tie.
He smokes.
Soon they will meet. The wind carries them closer,
They wave.
closer. They
Closer.
embrace.
They embrace. She is making a bed.
He is pulling off his pants. They marry and have a child. The wind carries them off in different directions.
This wind is strong, he thinks, as he straightens his tie.
I like this wind, she says, as she puts on her dress.
The wind unfolds.
The wind is everything to them.
Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. And she tied you to her kitchen chair, and she broke your throne, and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. You know, I used to live alone before I knew you. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch. And love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, there was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show that to me, do you? But remember when I moved in you, and the holy dove was moving too, and every breath we drew is hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
1, 2.
Let me tell you something. I was down for so long. Everything I did was wrong. And I found fault in everyone but me. I was hurt and alone. I could not find my way home. Broke down at home, too tired to moan. Then I heard somebody calling my name, saying ain't no need to be ashamed. And I found out that the door was always open. Yes, it was. I was trapped in my mind, a prisoner of my own design, lost in a world of confusion. I was there by myself, couldn't find no help from nowhere else. Thought I'd call up the hotline, but there was nobody there. Then I heard somebody calling my name, saying ain't no need to be ashamed. And I found out that the door was always open. Oh, then I heard somebody calling my name, saying ain't no need to be ashamed. I found out that the door was always open. Oh yeah. Then I heard somebody calling my name, saying ain't no need to be ashamed. And I found out that the door was always open. Heard somebody calling my name, saying ain't no need to be ashamed, ain't no need to be ashamed. And I found out that the door was always open. Yes, it was. Yeah, I found out that the door was always open. Say it again. You know that I found out that the door was always open. Oh, yeah. Then I heard somebody calling my name, saying ain't no need to be ashamed. I found out that the